What's going on, guys? My name is Triforce Addiction. Welcome back to another COD mobile video. So today I want to discuss, other underlying issues, more important issues when it comes to this game, because I know a lot of people do agree that Season 10 is in a very, very terrible state. People in Ranked are not enjoying, the Ranked mode at all. People in Battle Royale are having issues, frame rate drops. People experience their games crashing. From what I heard, and I do apologize for not addressing this earlier. Apparently there was a lot of controller issues on the Android side of things as well. That's something I wasn't aware of, because I thought Android tablets were alright. I thought they were working just fine. I thought it was just the Apple tablets, but of course it's kind of like my fault for being a little bit more narrow-minded, so I do apologize for that. Also, let's not forget the bans as well. People are getting banned from left to right, some permanently, some for like a week for literally no reason. Yeah, there's just a lot of shit going on with this update. So first, let's just get the controller part out of the way. So it is fixed for Apple devices, which shouldn't have been an issue in the first place. And with Android devices, they're experiencing issues like where the buttons aren't mapped correctly, they can't use their right stick or something like that. Stuff like that does need to be addressed as well, because let's not forget there are controller players that use Android devices as well. So that's something we should not forget. Okay, now for the more prevalent issues. So one of the biggest issues that I've been hearing about is persistence. So persistence has never really been changed at all. For the most part, I don't know when persistence actually got released for this game, but I've been hearing just a lot of complaints about it, especially on Twitter. People have basically said that, Ranked is kind of unplayable at this point because, people are losing matches because some person earned some sort of streak that they obviously did not deserve. You'd go like maybe 15 kills with like 30 deaths, but somehow get a VTOL. Shit like that has been happening. And don't worry, I know I don't really play Ranked as often. I do experience it in some hardpoint matches. If you do play public matches, you do get that a lot. And trust me, I've lost games because of that stupid perk. The funny thing is, I never really thought that persistence would ever be an issue in this game. I thought, it would be considered kind of like a pussy perk, or like kind of like a perk for really shitty players to use, right? Like, you would think that there would be some sort of stigma behind it. But no, people use this proudly and they don't give a shit. My personal take is, persistence should never be in Call of Duty. It should just not be in it, because it rewards bad players, and it's just gonna keep making them use it because it's just too easy. That's a huge issue in this game. Whenever there's something just too easy to use, people are obviously gonna flock to it. I don't know what their reasons are. I don't know if it's because they suck or they just want to be fucking idiots. But for the most part, we already have a lot of handholding in this game. We have operator skills, we have the MX9, we have M13s, we have overpowered ass weapons across the board, and yet the developers feel the need to just add more and more handholding shit. How much, where does it end, what else do you want to help them with? What I don't get is that, we've been hearing a lot of complaints about persistence even before Season 10 started. We've been hearing this since, day one. Stuff like this should not be in the fucking game, and yet the developers don't seem to fix anything. If I was a developer, my best approach would probably be just to restrict it from Ranked, or anything that's competitive related. And I feel like that's a huge problem, because with Ranked, you're just free to use whatever you want. There's no restrictions. It's supposed to be a competitive mode, yet they just allow anything that's just brain dead easy for any idiot to use. And that's why I always say in my live streams, Ranked isn't really about skill. It's just about, who's the biggest bitch in the battlefield. And that's really why I say they should make adjustments to Ranked. They should restrict certain items that may be too overpowered, including perks like persistence. So that way, when persistence does get banned from Ranked, people are gonna have to earn the score streaks the right way, and this means that all the shitty players who can't really earn their score streaks properly are gonna lose as they are supposed to. And the people that are actually skilled but lose games because of persistence will have a much higher chance of winning because of their skill, and not because the other team got lucky. Or in the case of Ranked, have everything given to them on a silver platter. I'm sure a lot of people would probably agree with that. Maybe that's just an idea that I have. Of course, maybe some of you guys might not agree. Maybe it's a little too restrictive. But really, the only two perks I could see being banned is Quick Fix and Persistence. I mean, I can't really imagine other, perks being such a problem, right? Or, I don't know, maybe that's just me. I mean, Lightweight isn't too much of an issue. I mean, Agile's not an issue. Dead Silence is not really much of an issue. You can still hear footsteps. So, I mean, like, really, those two perks are the only ones I could see that really get banned. Alongside some attachments or maybe some, some lethals like Thermites or Molotovs. See, that's the whole point of a competitive match. It's supposed to be about who has the best skill. It's not supposed to be about who's the biggest bitch on the battlefield, like I've said many times before. I don't know, I guess we just live in a participation medal type of era, I guess. I don't know. Look, when I started Call of Duty back in Modern Warfare 2, I got no help. Yeah, we had death streaks, but they weren't really that important. I mean, they weren't so game-changing as, what these perks are, or even, operator skills in general. We didn't have that stuff back then. If you sucked, that was your fucking problem. All these stuff can be easily rectified, and, ranked could go back to its former glory. Or if you even had a former glory. I see people say like, oh, this is the worst ranked season ever, and people comment saying like, dude, when is it ever not bad, So I don't know, maybe it could be restored into a better state if they weren't so lazy. But keep in mind, I mean, I think they focus a little bit too much on financial gain, or they're just a little bit too greedy when it comes to this game, if you think about it. Because I mean, they really just focus on crates and lucky draws. That's really what happens in every season. I mean, yeah, we get 2 new weapons, but for the most part, like, they're just really unbalanced sometimes, or just sometimes they're just really bad. I mean, in this season they were alright. They weren't too bad, like the MX-9. But, they never really seem to make any changes when people complain about it. And I don't expect changes right away, like, an hour later or like a day later. But at least, make some changes every season, because, sometimes we would think that a nerf would be coming at the next season, but it just never happens. Unless, like, we get a major update where we had to get an update through the App Store or something like that. We don't really get a lot of balancing changes. And even when we do get some changes, it becomes so drastic to the point where people just flock to that weapon because it's even worse than the previous one. I mean, think about when the MX-9 first came out. A lot of people would use the Bison or the QQ9, but the moment that they realized that the MX-9 was just overpowered as fuck, they just immediately flocked to that, and that's what they were using for like 2 to 3 seasons straight. And that's something that bothers me about developers. I know, they make draws with new weapons that come out, but I mean, once the draw is over, I mean, you could feel free to make some changes if you need to. I mean, you don't have to keep it strong for a long time to the point where people are leaving the game because they just can't stand it anymore. I mean, I have friends that left this game completely because they just can't take it. I think the draws and the crates are a huge problem in this game. I mean, the battle pass is one thing, but I mean, it's just like $3, whatever. But, when it comes to draws, I mean, they focus too much on the content and nothing about balancing and, other adjustments and optimizations. And that's the problem with lucky draws. They're just, oh my god, they're just way too expensive. I mean, people have spent like tens of thousands of dollars on this game, including myself. I mean, you should see Raider YT. That guy's like fucking like 60,000 or more like on this game, and that shouldn't even be the case. I mean, I would expect like maybe $1,000 by this point in time if this was like, if legendaries and mythics were sold in bundles, but fuck, man, it's like $150 every week. That's crazy. And so, yeah, I admit sometimes I hate doing that, and sometimes I wish I can, but I mean, I've already kind of put myself in a deep hole where people are just going to expect that from me. So yeah, I mean, I don't know what to say there. And also, I don't even understand why you even call it a lucky draw if for the most part you're just going to have to end up spending all your money to complete the draw in full, because the chances of you getting a legendary skin is extremely rare. Like, you would have to be blessed by every priest on the planet and even the Pope himself in order to even have a chance to be lucky to get a legendary weapon in your first few tries. The fact that I even got the P90 mythic in my first 3 tries of that draw was basically a gift from God. I mean, they could up the chances a little bit to make it a little bit more fair so people won't have to spend 150 fucking dollars every year. Or every week. Sorry, I don't even know why I said year. I wish that was the case, but no. And now that we're actually on the topic of content, like there's also another change that needs to be made. The bundle store. So the bundles have not changed in a very, very long time. They have pretty much been the same for over a year. I mean, you've had the same goblin crates for like so long. And, you know, we never had a massive change to them. I mean, most of the bundles aren't even worth getting. I mean, yeah, there will be very, very rare instances where you do get a legendary bundle. But, I mean, that's probably like once a year, and they're just very old legendary skins. So they're not really that worth getting. For the most part, I mean, like, yeah, it's cool if people missed it. But you know, you never really think about the ones that actually paid for the full draw, which is something that I did, and so many others in the past. But that's why I say, I mean, you know, for any new legendaries that may come, you should have those in bundles instead. I mean, people would probably be more inclined to buy them. So now let's get to the final thing that we need to discuss, which is the bots. So I know I was kind of aggressive the last time around, but I mean, you guys can't blame me. You guys have seen how bots react. They are awful. Honestly, sometimes they're just worse than real players, if I'm going to be real with you. But yeah, like, the bots need to be adjusted in so many different ways. First, they need to stop tracking you through walls, especially where they can't even see you. You know, I don't have a problem with them, like, you know, kind of like, you know, tracking me if they're seeing me, you know, how they kind of like lock onto you. Like, so long as they see me, that's fine. But, you know, when they don't see you at all and they're just looking you through a wall, that isn't fair. And keep in mind, I mean, their damage is much higher than what you can do. I know that because I've seen bots use AK-47s where they just, like, two-shot me on the head, which is something that it usually takes 3 shots for an AK-47. So I know for a fact that these bots have higher damage than we do. For like over a year, I mean, the bots have been really, really broken. You know, sometimes even free-for-all matches, they react to you immediately, so you pretty much don't even have a chance to even attack them, because they already know where you're at. The moment they spawn in, they're already tracking you through walls. And even when you're doing melee challenges, especially here in Kill Confirm Shipment or Hardpoint, it's really difficult when they could just see you through the entire multiverse. I don't know if it has anything to do with them being noise sensitive. Maybe once they hear even a small footstep, they'll start tracking you. I'm not really sure how that works, but at the same time, they do that anyways from longer distances where they can't hear your footsteps. High Rise is a perfect example of that. And let's not forget to mention the hit registration. For the most part, most deaths that you're going to get from bots are typically going to be headshots. And for the most part, you think that, you know, they would shoot you in the head, but that's the problem. They don't. Like, you know, they'll shoot you in your legs, they'll shoot you in like your chest and even your arms, and somehow still get a headshot. And that also applies if they're shooting on the ground. I've seen that where they literally shoot the floor and they still get a headshot off of you. So that's another thing that needs to be adjusted about them. What's another thing? Oh yeah, the strafing speed. The strafing speed they have is absolute bullshit. Their strafing speed is faster than what anyone can do normally in this game. Even if you have Skulker, there's no way you could strafe as fast as bots. They are literally, they're flash levels of fast. And sometimes it seems to fluctuate. Sometimes if you're in front of them, they'll start strafing extremely fast, but if you're like in longer ranges, they don't really strafe that much. It's a weird thing, especially with PDWs. They seem to have like really bad like strafe speeds to the point where you can't even land a single shot. And sometimes I feel like they're rigged as well. I mean, especially when you're using snipers, the moment you aim at them, they always seem to jump. I don't know if that's like, it feels rigged. It really, really feels rigged. Also the slide, man. I'm sure a lot of you guys seen how bots slide. They could literally slide a mile. Like, it's crazy how much they could slide. I don't know how they do that, but it's so mind-boggling to see that, and that's something that shouldn't happen as well. I don't understand how they have more sliding capabilities than just we do as normal players. So yeah, it's obvious that bots need a huge adjustment. Everyone has complained about it at some point. You're not a true COD mobile player unless you complained about bots at least once. But yeah, like I said, like all these changes can happen. They're possible and they're easy to do. But the thing is that the developers, I don't know what goes on in their heads. I don't know how they think that some of these issues are all right to keep in the game. You know, and that's why a lot of people say, even including myself, I think they focus too much on skins, lucky draws, crates, and battle passes. They just focus too much on that. And I feel like they really need to kind of like up the ante when it comes to performance updates as well as balance changes, because, you know, the longer a weapon stays overpowered or the longer an issue persists, people are going to stray away from this game. I've seen it. I know how it feels. There are times where I want to quit this game entirely. Also, the fact that there's just so much handholding in this game, operator skills, persistence, you know, OP weapons, like this game just it strives on, you know, just feeding noobs easy stuff so they can just get easy wins, and it's not fair. I mean, you know, in Call of Duty, like if you have higher skill than another person, you should be the one winning matches, not the other one because they got lucky or they got something that they didn't deserve to get. You know, that's not how ranked or even public matches should work. You know, it's all about skill, not supposed to be about just handholding. That's what it is now, and honestly, it's sickening. But anyways, that's all I have to say in the matter. I don't have much time. I need to submit this video before I get to Houston. So anyways, hope you guys have a wonderful day. Make sure to leave a like, make sure to subscribe for some more COD mobile content, and I'll see you guys next time. Thank you.